This week's episode is brought to you by Gift Twos. Gift to whose? Gift Twos. Like, they're gift to something. Yeah, but who are they for? No, I'm telling you, it's a gift to... Yeah, to who? This is coming out like who's on first. Who is on first? Okay, you know what? Fuck this. Gift Twos. They're a... Hey guys, I mentioned this a little bit in the episode, but this coming weekend at the time of this recording is Springfest 2019 in Anaheim, California. Now, some of us Nexus Core people will be there, most of us won't. Richard isn't going to be there. Matt's not going to be there because he lives in Maryland, and Root Beer's in San Francisco. But I, your host Atlas, will be there. I will be wearing a shirt you can easily recognize me by. Just look for a distinct logo. But yeah, come say hi to us. We love talking to our listeners, and good luck to all you guys out there, and we'll see you in Anaheim. Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night. If you've ever been looking at an apartment and known that the people there don't like you, you know how I feel. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
So, it appears that Bushiroad has given another set of gifts to Cardfight Vanguard.
Oh, baby.
And what I mean by that is it's the same gifts, they just added the number 2 and, like, turned them sideways.
Nice. That's very unique.
I just love that they went, all right, what if impact monsters but imaginary gifts?
Right?
Yeah.
If gifts are so good, where's Gift 2? Well, here they are.
Yeah, so we have Gift 2 Electric Boogaloo, which was the working title for this episode until Richard told me, you better change it before I punch you in the stomach.
I mean, to be fair, he's right.
Yeah. So we changed it to a gift to you, with the 2 being the little, like...
I
Roman
get it.
Too.
I
Right.
get it.
Yeah, so how this is going to work is we're going to talk about the new Accel, Force, and Protect imaginary gifts, how they work, and each person, has their imaginary gift, and let's get this shit going. Matt, you want to go first?
Sure. So there's a new Force Gift, Force Gift 2. You put to a Vanguard circle or a Rearguard circle, and the original crit becomes 2.
So, like, the thing at the bottom that says critical 1, that's just 2.
Yeah, but it doesn't increase the crit by 1, right? Because if it did, you could stack these in the same circle, and it'd be really annoying.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
all you can do is, like, shove it on a circle and be like, oh, by the way, I'm crit 2 now.
Yep.
That's interesting. Wait, so you can just have a plant token be 2 crits now?
That's right.
Yes.
And you said stacking them doesn't, like, you can't stack them for crit.
That's right.
3,
It'll
4,
just be
5.
like, oh, it becomes 2, but it also becomes 2.
It becomes 2, but it also becomes 2. That's going to be my explanation, because I guarantee you, if you don't, like, when these come out in, these are coming out in Extra Booster 7, Heroic Evolution, so that's when they're legal. I guarantee you there's going to be one person at your locals who's like, I put 2 on the same circle, I attack for 3, you're like, that's not how that works, and they're like, but that's how it worked with the old ones, and you're like, I know.
Yeah, sure did.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah, so the question you might have is, like, when am I going to want this gift, right? When am I going to want Force Gift 2, the 2 crit one, over Force Gift 1, which increases power by 10,000?
Can't you just do, like, one then the other?
No, you cannot, because the way the new gifts work is when you pick the first gift, you choose between a Type 1 gift or a Type 2 gift.
So what you pick it determines the rest of the gifts for the rest of the game?
That's right. And for
Yes.
the rest of the game, once you choose a Type 2 gift, for example, you must choose Type 2 every time.
Okay. So
go on.
I was going to say, so that means after the 3rd Grade 3 ride, the
They
end.
do nothing.
There's
That's right.
There's nothing, no reason to want to ride again.
That's right.
Okay. I feel like the clans that can utilize the Gift 2 for Force the best are clans that make their field big on their own.
Not only make their field big on their own, but possibly have Vanguards that can attack multiple times, or or have guard restricts and also get big. Like, if you get big and have a guard restrict, the crit becomes much stronger.
I'm thinking Neo Nectar. That's the first thing that pops into my head with this.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also thinking like things that can fill the board easily or make aggression very quickly, because having a lot of crits is a lot more impactful when your opponent is at like 3 damage rather than 5.
Oh, that's true. So there's like a counterblast denial angle to this.
Right.
Where you're
like, what do you think about...
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
sorry.
Go. I went first.
Like, what do you think about this in something like Dimension, please?
I ironically find it less useful.
Yeah.
Because your Vanguards already get a crit on their own when they hit a certain power threshold.
Yeah.
And like a lot of your rearguard skills already go into pumping up your Vanguard, so you really need that extra power on the rest of your board so that they can make pressure still.
All right, fair enough.
Now, if you ride Great Dayusha first, there's a case to be made for doing Gift 2. That's, I think, something that we haven't stated, is that I think there's an element of strategy to this.
Yeah.
Where, depending what your matchup is and whether you go first or second or what your hand is like, perhaps using, the Gift Type 2 will be more beneficial to you either early or late game.
Well, let's think about so one thing that people made a big deal of was Force versus Protect, right?
Yeah.
The problem with Force is that if you put it doesn't matter how big your number is, like your opponent could just PG it all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you start spreading out these crit 2 columns, as long as you're hitting like reasonable numbers, your opponent is pretty much forced to guard everything from 4 damage onward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even it makes when you're at 3 damage, making you take Vanguard pretty dangerous. So like it can kind of change the dynamic of Force versus Protect as well.
Yeah.
Remember back in Jira, where if your opponent attacked you with their Vanguard and you were at 3 damage, you didn't typically want to take it because there's the chance of double critting because you had an extra drive check.
That's right.
Or even, 2 extra drive checks if it's like Guardian Helios or something. I feel like we're kind of back to this now, where if you're at 3 damage and the opponent is attacking with, a Gift 2 Maiden of Trailing Rose, you're like, I don't think I necessarily want to take this to the face.
Right, like the risk is very high now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think clans, I feel like Dragonic Waterfall isn't going to use this much, because
probably not.
It kind of makes its own fun. I think maybe something like Dragonic Overlord the Great could have a good time with this.
Definitely.
Yeah, because you could be like, all right, I'm going to put this on my rearguard circle, and my restanding Neoflame can...
I can see... If you use Alfred, I can see Royal Paladins making use of this, because you can fill the board fairly easily. They make decently hitting columns, and so, when I was just using them for playtesting and stuff, I would usually put the original Force 1 on my rearguard columns just because my Vanguard already gained a decent amount of power.
Make your own Force gift.
Yeah. So imagine just being the first to grade 3, swinging 23 plus with a crit.
Okay. Also, I feel like the budget version of Royal Paladin, that being Soul Saver and Palamedes, can make insane use of this, because their main problem was, okay, my field is huge, but I'm at 1 damage, so take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, this will be great for Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. So, and I think anything that had...
wait, let's go back.
What?
Wait, that means they get this gift in premium, too?
Yes.
I was gonna pivot to that in a second. It's just...
Imagine Spike Brothers with this.
Yeah, that was the other thing that popped into my head when I heard, the gift 2 was Neo Nectar, which can, you make your tokens 50k or something. And then you have Spike Brothers, which is General Safety, just got a whole lot scarier.
I'm so tilted right now.
Put it on a rearguard, attack with your, your Bracky. Attack into a rearguard with Safe Read. Restand the Bracky. Attack again with a crit. There is so much potential with the gift 2. Now, can you...
Things already get huge in premium.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah,
now imagine all of the premium rush strats, but every time you're getting hit with a 30k column, it also has an extra crit.
I mean, to be fair, I think premium is supposed to end by second stride at the latest.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, but now you can do it on first stride, too, with all of your crazy restanding in extra calls, but with crits.
I mean, if your name was Gold Paladin, you were kind of doing that already.
Well,
so.
Gold is not force, luckily. So
yes. Thank fucking Christ.
Just imagine just writing Ezel early, right? And then just having 2 crit for no reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun and exciting.
Definitely some fuckery. Like, what clans do you think can make best of use of this in premium?
I thought that was spikes.
We just mentioned Bermuda, right?
Yeah.
We also mentioned spikes.
Mm-hmm.
What were the other 4? Link Joker, maybe, with all the locking and unlocking.
Oh my god! Because it doesn't matter what the card is. So every time you do the multi attack with the same circle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Kagero, because every one of their vanguards is a restander at this point.
Oh, fuck me. Ziegenberg!
Guys, can you imagine Stark base 2 crit?
My god.
I hate you, Matt.
Get you. Get you.
That shit's gonna be in my nightmares. Oh, man.
Oh,
or hell, even in, what's it called? In Bermuda Triangle with Medido? Because you then move everything to that crit circle over and over and over again.
That seems exciting and fair.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think this gift is not always the thing you want to be doing. Like, especially, I think in standard the choice is going to be a lot closer.
Yes.
But I think in premium, like, I think a lot of force clans can really benefit from a 2 crit circle even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Shadow Paladin might be the only one that doesn't.
It's because all their guys gain 1,000,000 crits anyway.
Yeah.
Especially
their Vanguard gains 1,000,000 crits anyways. It's just they kind of need to give some love to their rear guards.
Yeah.
I mean, having a Cathvad at like what 23k, and then you have him at 2 crit. That's not bad either. Again, it comes down to what you ride, when you ride it, and what you're playing against.
The real nightmare is if they give a force gift to Zodiac Time Beast for Gear Chronicle.
Fuck me. Why did... Actually, ironically, I think Gear Chronicle would not want to do Force 2 most of the time, at Standard at least.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're trying to stack up Force gifts like you can with Lost Legend, and then after, 2 strides, it's useless then?
I was more like aiming at premium, but yeah.
I know, but I
feel like in premium, pretty much every clan can use Force 2 in some way.
I feel like if you get ahead early in premium, like the 2 crit becomes a lot better.
Oh yeah. If you get a crit on that first turn, get him to 2, and then you attack for 3.
Premium blasters with 2 crits.
Oh boy.
Actually, I think that would be fairly easier to deal with, at least with the whole like Floral Paladin thing, because the big scary thing with the blasters was that you're stacking it all in the same circle, and you're going, all right, I'm attacking with a 40k blaster blade 3 times. Now, if that's a 10k blaster blade 3 times with 2 crit, that's a lot less scary. At least for like early to mid game.
Sure. But yeah, I think I really like how different the other force gift is. I think it was pretty easy to make the other force gift like kind of lazy and defensive.
Yeah.
But this one is just get your opponent dead, and it doesn't even like try to mince words about it. So I really appreciate that.
It forces them to die.
Mm.
And it's a different kind of pressure, which is cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good excuse to transition into accel. So the new accel gift 2 is, so when you ride a grade 3, you get a permanent front row rear guard circle, much like you did with the first one, but you draw a card when it's given, and whatever is on that circle gets plus 5k during your turn instead of 10k. Which, when it comes to design, that was probably the laziest one. They were like, guys, what if we just cut it in half and give them a card for doing it?
That's crazy good, though.
It is crazy good. So, what was Excel's main problem before this?
Not having enough cards to fill the rearguard circles they're generating.
So, what happens now?
So now you just get a card to fill whatever circle you just made.
Now, the like having less than 5k means that you can't like throw a trigger onto the accel circle and be hitting Vanguard on its own, like if you're really desperate or something. But I think this fixed the main problem with accel, which was like I can't maintain this for very long. And again, it comes down to what you ride when you ride it, and what you're playing against. And I'll give you a great example. So in Great Nature, in Standard, if I ride the Hamstay ride chain and get Pencil Hero Hamstay, who I am for sure going for the gift too, because you ride Hamstay, you get an accel circle intrinsically, you draw a card. You then use Hamstay still to discard 2 cards, get another accel circle. You draw a card. Oh no, sorry, you finish still. Get the other accel circle, and then call the grade 1 and 2 Hamstay from the deck, and then you draw a card. So the effect is a +2 overall. Before it was a wash to your hand versus field advantage. Now it's just straight advantage. It's just a straight +2. Now, if I ride Leopold, however, first, or if I misride or whatever it is, I'm going to usually want to do accel 1, because if I am going to ride a bunch of Leos one after the other who are milling 2 cards every time they ride, and usually taking out 1 to 2 more off of the cards you call off the top, getting a draw every time you do that is going to deck you out like that. So
maybe
I think there's a case to be made. Or another example is in Pale Moon. If I'm playing against Force, I'm probably going to want to use accel 1, because Purple Trapezist can't hit Vanguard on her own on an accel 2. So I think this is the best version of the gift. Like, it fixed the most problems, I think. Force didn't really have much of a problem to it, whereas accel did, and this remedies it pretty easily.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I feel like in a lot of cases you would rather have accel 2 than accel 1, just because maintaining hand advantage and being able to defend yourself is so important. Like, I can understand what you mean with like the decking out or trying to hit Force clans, but if you don't have the cards in your hand to put that kind of pressure or survive their attacks, then you're not really getting anywhere fast.
I mean, Great Nature is a little bit of an outlier when it comes to behaving like accel, because you're just calling things from the deck anyway. But I think for something like Aqua Force, this is going to be a huge boon, because now you have cool.
But yeah, like aside from the power, accel 2 is pretty much just a straight upgrade. I feel like there's not as much of a choice as with Force 90% of the time. You're probably just going to need the extra cards, because a lot of accel clans right now don't have a built-in advantage engine, and so they kind of need the +1 from getting an accel 2 to kind of keep up and survive.
Now, this is the only other imaginary gift in the game that, aside from Protect 1, that negates your ride minus. And and I don't mean that in, like, a Force gift is not giving you card advantage, it's giving you power. That does not allow you to block things, that does not allow you to attack more. It just makes what you already have bigger. Accel is giving you a card. Protect 1 gives you a perfect guard, which is a card you can use. Do you think this is, like, the quote accel meta that we had in Standard lasted about, 2 weeks, and then it died to Link Joker and Shadow Paladin getting a second wave, and then Bermuda Triangle, and it just didn't do too well. Do you think that this will allow them to now have an easier time with their worst matchups in the Force plans?
I think it will substantially improve it. So I think while the numbers you're hitting are going to be smaller, it gives some accel clans the option to play a more prolonged game, which may not be beneficial to them in some matchups, but it gives them another game plan. So
yeah,
I think, like, since you have the option to choose this game plan, I still think it's going to make at least a mild improvement. I'm not sure if it substantially changes the matchup, but I think giving extra tools can't do anything to harm it. And I think that against if like a clan just can't purely focus on retiring per se.
Yeah.
And like it makes bullying rear guards slightly less effective as well.
Oh, because you at least get cards to help deal with it.
And if any of the accel clans who like actively plus already can take this and just like have more advantage than before.
I'm licking my chops over here.
Yeah.
Way to make it creepy, Atlas. I think in Premium this gets even more insane though, because things like Nova Grappler, Aqua Force, Pale Moon, Gold Paladin, all of them have like ways to gain advantage in Premium on their own, and then now you're doing a thing with like, all right, it's only 5k, but that's fine because I was hitting anyway. What do I care?
I feel like Premium Golds might keep up the accel one just because of their rush-oriented game plan, but I guess if you wanted to have a slower, more prolonged game, you could use accel 2 and Premium Golds.
Oh, you got a point there. I also think that this gives more credence to front triggers.
Yeah.
Where originally, I don't think we gave them enough credit. Like, we have a whole episode where we're kind of sort of talking shit on front triggers. 97 front trigger fuckery, if anyone wants to go check that out. But I don't really... I think we didn't give front triggers enough credit when they first came out. Because in our head, we were like, oh, it's not crits, therefore not as good. But after playing as many accel clans as I have... front triggers being able to, you're getting more bang for your buck the bigger field you have.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to me, I think is worth it. I'm not saying replace crits altogether. I'm just saying that I don't think that they are as memeable as stand triggers were.
No, I mean, I agree. It's just, like, playing Kumo, I just don't really have a reason to care.
Understandable. But yeah, now that you're like, all right, my little 8k is 13k now, but now it's 23 with the front trigger, with little to no effort, which is cool.
I mean, when you can make 2 accel circles on your first ride, maybe front triggers get a little better.
Yes, they do. This message brought to you by the practice games I played with my friend Ben over the weekend. I haven't seen Richard in a while, so I haven't gotten to play against Premium Golds, and he did me a solid. He came to locals, made Premium Golds out of his, turn standard and Premium. We played... Holy shit, I am not looking forward to this weekend, which is Springfest 2019 in Anaheim, California. I will be there, will you?
Thanks.
What?
Picking up Benji shoes, thanks.
Do you want me to, go look for those? Or
if you want, I don't actually care.
All right.
I only give 3.
Yeah.
But they're, unreasonably expensive.
Yeah. So what do you think, what clan do you think can abuse the whole, accel 2 the most in both formats?
I really just want to say Murakuma, but I know that's not true on Premium. Gold, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure about Premium for Golds. We'll have to see how that shakes out.
Fair.
For Standard, definitely.
After seeing all the Beast Deity stuff, Nova Grappler might have a good case for Standard.
Man, can you use Nova Grappler be good? Please, just once.
I mean, they were good near the end of G era, with winning champ Victor and all that stuff.
And then LOL Bermuda.
Yeah, pretty much. We were good for a month, and then that was it.
Dude, that's how it was at the end of G era. They would a set would come out. The clans in it would be there would be 2 clans in it that would be just absurd.
Yeah.
A new set would come out. Those clans are now irrelevant, and these other 2 clans that just got support are absurd. Mm-hmm. And then the Bermuda set came, and then this repeated a couple times. Bermuda set came out and be like, actually, all of you are useless.
I think that started with GBT 11, right? That was the.
Yeah, somewhere on there, yeah.
Yeah. Demonic Advent. But 11 and 12 were a good start, and then they went to 13 with the Zeroth Dragon, so it was like, fuck me.
Yeah, starting 13, they just threw all balance out the window.
You were doing so well, although I do think they were doing okay-ish for, post this reboot. Why don't we finish up our little FAP equation here? Root Beer, tell us about Protect.
Yeah. So, for Protect 2, you can now choose one of your rearguard circle, and then it gets power plus 5,000 during both players' turn, and shield plus 10,000 on intercept.
Woo-wee. That's something.
Can you stack this?
I believe you can. So it basically functions like a force gift.
Guys, what if force gift, but half a thing, but double the shield? Yeah, I'm thinking creatively
works on
over
opponent's
here.
turn, because why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's protect, right? Make it harder to beat over your stuff.
So I think this actually is really useful for protect. I think it covers a lot of protect's previous weaknesses.
Yeah, I agree. Getting hit a lot, battle door skills, and guard restrict.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of solves all three of those, because now, anytime you intercept with a grade 2, it basically functions as a critical or front trigger. The extra power helps a little earlier, because a lot of protect clans like to long game, so your early offense isn't really as strong as when you get into your explosive finisher move. So having that extra 5,000 power can be a little helpful early. And then, like I said, if
I put a grade 3 on that protect gift, can I then intercept for 10k shield?
No, because grade 3s can't intercept. If you have a grade 3 that can intercept, sure, why not?
Okay, see, for the people out there, you're inevitably going to be asked this at your locals. Fucking show them this podcast. I'm always down for more listenership. Anyway, what were you saying?
So yeah, if you get hit with a battle door, you can choose to intercept to save yourself an extra card, because battle door skills only work from hand.
Mm-hmm. Or it's when placed from hand explicitly. Okay.
Yeah, because it's like if you would call from hand, you have to call 2 at a time. That's the.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So I was thinking it was when placed, or if I don't know. I guess that's the only way it makes sense. So yeah, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're like I would like to guard. Well, you got to do 2 or more, or else you can't. Well, shit. Mm-hmm. And then
So yeah, intercepting and G guarding bypass that, which is nice.
Yeah.
So it helps with that. As far as multiple attacks go, just having extra shield to throw at your opponent is always nice. And then, guard restrict obviously is kind of the same thing, just having extra shield to throw out in case you need to preserve other cards in your hand. You could sack off maybe a less useful grade 2 by intercepting with it.
Especially in things like Angel Feather, where almost everything is on place, where you have all right, I called I called out the guy that calls the thing from damage down. Now it's just kind of a 9k. Now you can be all right. I'm going to intercept for 15k. Get it out of the way. Move on with my life.
Feel OTT and Angel Feather can also just make an obscene amount of protect gifts. So you'll be sitting there with 5 perfect guards in your hand and wondering what the hell you're doing with your life.
Yeah, I referred to this as cannibalism, like PG cannibalism, where you'll start discarding perfect guards for the cost of perfect guards. But now, also, remember that there's a certain little card I want to read to you guys. So, Scarlet Witch Coco. When ridden from a grade 2, you draw a card. And act once per turn, you counterblast 1, soul blast a grade 3. Draw 2 cards. Discard any number of cards with witch in their card name, and get the same number of imaginary gift protect as the number of cards discarded. With Gift 2, this now means you can start, making sideboard things that are, badongus huge quite quickly. And
can intercept for, 50k shield.
Yeah, that's certainly a thing.
How bizarre.
Yeah. Remember when we were, shitting on this card when the fucking... There's a usage for it now.
One thing that concerns me is I actually think that the Protect Gift 2 is, very good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, it covers its weakness too well.
Too well?
In the sense, against, most Accel clans, Protect is just always going to take this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, the whole point of, one of the big reasons, Murakumo was allowed to, kind of, wedge itself in is because, it had a pretty decent matchup against Accel clans. Or against Protect clans, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Accel clans getting, this way to cover weakness is, a pretty big game.
Yeah.
And my further point is, I don't feel that the other gifts really protect the weaknesses as well as this one does for Protect.
Mm.
Yeah, because, it's pretty easy to tell, when you're going to use which gift. Against either of the Force Paladins that usually just go for raw numbers without a whole lot of extra attacks or any kind of guard restrict, you just take Protect 1, laugh at their 60,006 crit Messianic Lord Blaster with your PG, and then against like Dragonic Waterfall, pretty much any Accel clan or anything with a Battledore skill, you just choose Protect 2 100%.
I mean, in their defense, they also have, if they ride Waterfall, they can pick off your Interceptor free of charge, so you better have, start putting it on both sides. So that is a bit of a, quote, weakness. Not that the Protect 1 wasn't before.
But how are you picking off Promise Daughter?
Yeah.
You're not. Oh, shit, that's going to be a good time.
Yeah. And Promise Daughter is 14k base, too.
An unkind landscape. 15... Yeah, that was the day I tried to do an episode on my own, and it was a goddamn disaster. I'm never pulling a Mark Maron again. So I think what Protect 2 benefits are Protect clans that are more aggressive. So Dark Irregulars, Mega Colony, New Batama if it's the Megatsu Storm variant. All of those, clans had a problem of, okay, I'm getting these Protect gifts, but it's like, it doesn't help with my win condition. Like, the thing that I'm, quote, waiting for isn't big enough to warrant having more Perfect Guards.
Yeah.
Like the Megatsu thing is pretty cool, I guess, but it's not, like, it's not Mobile Hospital. It's not, the Deer, that kind of thing. And Dark Irregulars and Mega Colony behave more aggressively as clans, where you're kind of making these boards and trying to like lower the opponent's vanguard. So I think by making your board even bigger and adding 5k more power, you can like capitalize on that better.
Yeah. Well, I guess the problem with that, and the point that Matt was trying to get at, is that no matter what Protect clan you're playing, I feel like the line of thinking will be the same across most of these regardless, where if something is really big and scary, but doesn't have anything that can interfere with Perfect Guards, then you're probably just going to take Protect 1 because it's just an easy no button, and then anything that can get around Perfect Guards, you just choose Protect 2 pretty much 100% of the time, because you have 4 Perfect Guards in your hands that aren't helping your situation. You might as well get extra power and Intercept Shield.
Yeah. I think if Grand Blue gets a good second ride, they're going to start doing Protect 2, but for now I think they still need Protect 1 to get the Skull Dragon out of their hand for one reason or another. What version of this do you think works out the best in Premium? Because I think Premium has like crazy ass, big restanding Vanguards, and it's the Michael Bay of Vanguard formats.
Yeah.
And I think
one of the problems with Premium, though, is that you have the ability to G-Guard, too, which can help supplement our regular guarding.
Also correct. I think in something like... okay, so I've been playing Premium New Batama for the last few weeks, which, by the way, is super fucking fun. You guys should go play it. And it's not that expensive to build, but you need to discard Sentinels as the cost for your kind of bonk turn with that bird. I call it the KFC bird. I think a lot of other people do too. So you're literally always going to choose Protect 1 as long as you run that bird. I'm
having trouble thinking, like, what Protect clans are popular in Premium right now?
New Batama is, I think, like a dark horse, but I don't think it's necessarily popular. Like, you see it top every now and again, because, as it turns out, if you do Shiranui Rin and then do the bird to make them bounce their field and then drop 5, hurts pretty bad. Grand Blue has stuff, but it's not actually really that popular.
People play that deck?
Is OTT still doing anything? I highly doubt it.
Does the name Ichitam ring a bell to you?
Yeah.
Is that deck even good?
Yes, it is.
Okay, the deck is
boring.
Good.
It's good, but it's boring.
Well, we don't know if it was still good with all the.
Don't you just get donked
by?
Don't you just get donked by golds? I guess you get dunked by golds playing anything, so whatever.
Yeah.
Might as well play what you like, right?
Yeah, right. Or just play golds. Can't beat them, join them.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think anyone's really given DIs a serious try since the loop got killed.
I mean, fair.
How's Angel Feather doing?
you have different fights little rescue loop thing, but I haven't really seen anything else. Mega Colony, there's always that kind of anti-Gold Paladin thing going on, so maybe that'll be something. But again, I think you still want the perfect guards in that particular case, depending.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the benefits from Protect 2 were already kind of taken care of just having G guards for a lot of decks, though.
Yeah, sure.
So that's what I'm trying to think, like, what situation would come up that you would need the extra intercept that you couldn't take care of with a G guard, aside from just not having heal triggers?
I think in Premium, especially, the perfect guard ends up being really what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like, the power is just not a big deal, but, like, negating an attack ends up being bigger.
Yeah, like, triple drive is a lot deadlier. The base power is higher at 26k, and there's just so many stupid things going on in Premium.
Yeah. And I think, and from what I could parse, I parse some data fairly quickly, and I see some new Batama and OTT as far as, like, Protect clans.
Yeah. And I feel like OTT probably makes enough hand advantage that they can sustain Protect 1, especially because it helps contribute to Oracle.
Yep. So, yeah, I think in Premium it's pretty hard to use the second Protect, but in the in the choice of standard, I think it's very good in the way where I think it helps protect a lot more than the choice helps protect a lot more than the other people having a choice.
I guess the thing is, like, the choice is usually a lot more obvious, where if you know something is going to be really aggressive and can interfere with your perfect guards, then you choose Protect 2, and then if you have things with really big columns but not a whole lot of multi-attacking or guard restrict, then you go with Protect 1.
So I have a kind of a follow-up topic to this gift thing, right? So now that we've talked about all three gifts, what benefits does going second have to where you get to pick your gift in response to your opponent's choice of gift?
That's a good one. I didn't think of that. Okay, well, I guess the best way to do it is to just, like, I'll put up a scenario of what I do first, and then take each gift and then see what you would do in response. So let's say I'm an accel player. I ride first, and I want the advantage because I, want to kill you as fast as possible and fill the board. So I take the accel 2 as Gold Paladin in Standard. So I do that, and what do you do is each of the three gifts.
And maybe you're playing against like a Force Clan, right?
Yeah.
Like what if you do that and the Force Clan just slams down Dragonic Overlord and it's like crit 2.
So they can do that. They do that in response to accel 2.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, start battling you.
Yeah. Well, Dragonic Overlord makes his own force gift, kind of, by doing the Soul Blast for the 10k. It also means that if he hits, he's now coming at you again with crit 2 by itself.
Yep.
Yeah. And the potential to check more crits on his drive checks.
I believe you might be boned.
Like, I think so. Vanguard's kind of a really strange game in the sense, like, if somebody's rushing you, the best answer in a lot of situations is just rush them back. Vanguard's a weird game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is true. Remember 7 Seas?
Yeah.
Right?
It's either do that or take the time to kill their field. Like, spend a few turns just, kneecapping the rush, and, like, I have time to put you to 6 damage later. For now, I need to kill the 5 rear guards you have in the front.
Right.
That kind of thing. like
I think, like, Force Clans going second, who just need to try to, like if you don't think like playing the normal longer game, like of plus 10k my guys and try to kill you like normally, then I think against a lot of accel clans, like, you could just take the 2 crit and just force them to have to start guarding.
Yeah. And also, well, that's also something else where if you're going second, then your opponent has had time to start setting up, which means they could be gathering perfect guards and stuff too. So I feel like going second, you have to be a lot more attentive about your opponent's board state, what cards they drive checked, what got put into damage, so you have an idea of what their deck looks like.
Guys, did they just add another element of strategy to Vanguard?
I mean, yes, because they gave you a choice.
No fucking way.
Well, if you're a Protect clan, like, I don't think that whatever choice Accel makes, I don't think that's really changing your choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I think you're still just likely to take the plus 5k, plus 10k shield.
Yeah. Because, like, perfect guards are also expensive. You have to discard a card for them, so if you're being attacked multiple times and you're constantly losing 2 cards guarding, well, you're going to run out of hand really goddamn fast.
Like, one way to look at the plus 5k power, plus 10k shield is it's gaining cards over a longer period of time. Like, the perfect guard might gain, like, more shield value in, like, single attacks, but against Protect, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking to stretch each card to gain to more shield. Perfect guards don't do that against Protect clans. Like, the amount, like, you're really looking at like a 30k guard and 2 cards, which is not great. What the new Protect circle does is it gains you 10k every card that enters that circle, plus whatever shield it had originally.
Which, likely it's going to be a 5k shield with it. So, first time it's 15, 25, 35, etc.
Yeah. And every card you ride is giving you more shield value as the game progresses.
Yeah.
So eventually, like, if Protect clans get to, their second, third ride against an Accel clan with this new gift, it's going to be very difficult for the Accel clan to start pressing through anything. Like, you go, all right, attack you with my Vanguard for 20k, and they're like, all right, intercept, no pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, well.
That also means that if you don't have some kind of removal as an Accel clan, you are now going to have to consider, do I want to just attack the thing on the Protect circle to get it out of the way?
But also keep in mind, like, the more Protect 2s that are getting stacked up, the more power that rearguard is gaining on both turns, too.
If there's 2 on there, you're going to attack this 19k rearguard?
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna waste, like, this...
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if
and there's also the factor that by attacking that one rear guard, you're taking pressure away from the Vanguard anyway, so it's like that rear guard intercepted either way.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, let's say you're a Force clan and you're like, I want to get rid of the thing on that circle, and my name is not, Kagero or Shadow Paladin. I want to get rid of that thing. Do I and I go second? Do I start putting Force 1s on the board to get enough power to stand up to the Protect circle over time? Or do I just try and go for the crit 2 now that they don't have a handful of perfect guards and just try and knock their lights out?
Yeah. And I think it's going to be I think for Force, the choice is a lot more interesting because that'll also depend on what kind of grade 3s your Force clan has. Like, do you have guard restricts? Do you have access to additional criticals? Do you have, like, how big does your Vanguard get on its own? I think all these things make Force clans a little more fleshed out in their decision, and it makes it much more unique in each Force clan. Where I think the decision's a little more static as far as the other gifts are concerned.
Yeah. I also think that, what do you think about the whole mirror matchup conundrum? So let's say, and I mean by gift, not by clan. Let's say you're a Protect clan against a Protect clan, you go first. You want to, like, somebody has to be the aggressor, otherwise the game is just you win by deck out, I guess. So, do you start...
I think that case really depends on what deck you're playing against, because something like Dark Irregulars that focuses very heavily on Vanguard aggression, I might still take Protect 1 just to block their 40k no life king.
That's what I'm saying. Or, like, let's say like, Angel Feather, ironically, can play a rather aggressive game because they can build a board very easily without much commitment. You have the dude call from damage zone. So, like, if you're playing against another Angel Feather player, do you start, Actually, no, you don't want to even do that because you probably are waiting for the hospital to happen. So,
well,
moot point.
I guess if I was like OTT going against Angel Feather, we know that Angel Feather can stall out the game for a long time and out advantage OTT. So, in that case, I might just take the Protect 2 and start stacking up that power so I can go on the offense a lot faster.
Does this also give more credence to Silent Tom?
That I don't know about.
I'm not sure about that either, because he doesn't prevent the use of triggers.
True, but it is just more things you have to, to drop. Oh, Silent Tom.
Yeah, I think the mirrors are going to be much more difficult to navigate. But I do think that what you have the right idea of, somebody needs to be the aggressor, and so I think like establishing if you can be the beatdown is very important. Also, the point about the Protect Gift 2 extending shield as the game drags out could become relevant too. Like unless the Protect clan that you're facing has like natural crits from their Vanguard, it could be that the shield you gain ends up being bigger as the longer the game goes.
I think typically, unless you're something like Angel Feather, which can just chain a bunch of rides into each other, you're probably going to have 3 rides, 3 grade 3 rides at most.
Probably.
Depending what you are. Right. It's usually about 2, anywhere between 2 and 4. But like I don't know how it's going to track with something like against like a Force clan that can gain its own power and will start dropping crit 2s in your face, like Neonectar was the first thing I brought up. I think that the Protect 1 might be more important because the crit gives Force like more aggression and more pressure faster. You are getting the crit immediately. You're not like, all right, it's 10, now it's 20, now it's 30. Like, that takes a while. And maybe if it's early in the game, the added power doesn't really give you more pressure. It's just more power. I think that the Force is more upfront, like, kill pressure. And then I think, ironically, as it goes on, it might get worse because as the Protect clan has time to stabilize, or the accel clan has managed to keep up with you the whole time, that maybe your crit 2 on your like Gust Blaster Dragon, which I don't know why you would do that, but let's say you're dumb enough to, all right, my 6 crit Gust Blaster Dragon is now 7 crit. This mattered.
It did. Why not?
Yeah.
7 crits.
You have to make sure they can't heal out of it.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. No. But just like ironically, I think later in the game that extra crit isn't gonna matter as much because if you're hitting them at 4, if they let you hit at 4, you have the chance to crit and win anyway. So what is that? It just kind of helps you shore that up versus allowing it to happen or setting up the opportunity for that to happen.
Yeah. Well,
right.
I guess the paradox there is like if your clan if that particular deck kind of had problems getting them to that high damage in the first place with just regular Force, then like Force 2 can help cover that, but then once they get there it kind of falls off a bit and you just kind of want the raw power back.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to bring up, because my friend Trace brought this up when I was discussing it with the rest of my friends. He goes, I wish that you had the ability to choose which type of gift you got every single ride, and I nearly slapped him, because imagine the fuckery of going Force 2, Force 1, Force 1, Force 1, Force 1, like, just...
Okay, 90k, 2 crits, have fun.
Yep.
Imagine Protect Clan just being like, oh, I suddenly need a perfect guard, I'll choose a perfect guard this time.
Yeah.
Like, no, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, yeah. It makes the decision less meaningful.
Like, there basically isn't a decision. It's just, do I need this right now? Yes. Okay.
Giving you more opportunities for the decision, ironically, makes the decision, like you said, mean less.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Like, if you make a decision like every 1 second, the decision becomes less meaningful each time. Mm-hmm. Or, like, relative to the number of times you have to make it. So, like, I think it's my expectation that the Force Clan choice will be very based on play draw.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're on the play, I think you're going to be more likely to take the crit.
Yeah. Or if you can consistently hit, like, 33k on your rear guards anyways, then I feel like I just take the crit, because at that point, they're dropping 2 or more cards per guard anyways.
Yeah. And, I think it'll be less matchup dependent than it will be as far as, like, tempo, really.
Yeah.
I think the accel one will lean toward the new gift in general, except in matchups where like the power difference is relevant.
Yeah.
And then I think protect gift will be very matchup dependent.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. The accel gift feels like you're mostly gonna choose the new one. I could be wrong. I think there is some room to choose the old one, like Atlas mentioned before. I just expect that you're going to be taking accel to a decent percentage of the time.
I do think that like clans that kind of don't behave like accel are going to choose accel most of the time. Narukami, Tachikaze, like just because like I was hitting 14k with that Blight Tops, hitting 19k doesn't really make much of a difference. I'd rather just have more hand.
Yeah.
And then so god damn it, they made that little like Orion's belt shape of like force in the middle and then accel on the wings of like how often you're going to choose one versus the other in a matchup sense. I think they might have just designed this well. Part of me think like when I first heard like they're doing like a second type of gift, I'm like, man, they ran out of ideas. They did not run out of ideas. This is kind of neat.
Yeah, honestly, like I really like this change. I feel like the gifts offer something different for the game, and then especially if you're going second, it gives you more of a decision to make when trying to plan out your game plan.
I can tell you two downsides to this. First off, the gift 2s are landscapes, so they're sideways on the card. That means that the like the character gift markers are now you gotta like they have to design for that. So they either gotta like Photoshop stretch it out so everything's all wide and weird, or they have to like make the pic. Maybe they'll start doing more like background oriented stuff. Like the planet Cray is a Force 2 gift, and it's just like that field. That would be kind of neat. And then also all of the shiny gift markers that you got that maybe you don't need as many of anymore. Sorry, guys. All of those core and accel gifts are probably going to drop like a fucking stone price-wise. I'm surprised they didn't just change this to like the positioning of the card itself rather than bothering to print new ones. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, the card text on the old gifts won't match with the new ones, so like if people don't know what they do or forgot, then you can't really. You could just lie to their face and they couldn't verify it.
No, guys, my accel gift was in attack mode, therefore it's it was that. I swear it wasn't in defense mode that first time. Can't believe I'm fucking doing Yu-Gi-Oh references. Nexus at Night, the Yu-Gi-Oh podcast.
Why
not? Yeah. All right. So final opinions here. Which gift in just the gift by itself do you think is the best off with their second edition overall?
I think,
Protect.
Yeah. Like I think Protect is just has its weaknesses covered the best. I think Force is probably the most interesting in terms of which thing you're going to use.
I think Force breathed the most life into the most things. And example, like Neonectar and Spike Brothers, like Neonectar got a promo that did a lot for them, but they haven't really changed because they haven't gotten new cards. Spike Brothers hasn't gotten new cards. This new imaginary gift does so many things for them just by itself. And it has nothing to do with them as a clan. It's just, this is a new game mechanic. Have fun. I think, like as an accel-oriented player, I am super happy about having a, quote, consistent form of card advantage. But yeah, I think the Protect gift thing is going to make me want to play more Protect clans just for the, let's see what happens, man.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't like the accel as much just because I feel like the benefit of drawing a card outweighs the extra power in most of the cases. So I feel like the choice is usually fairly linear. Like, Protect kind of has the same problem where it's matchup dependent, but at least it kind of changes the flow of the game, and you still have to make decisions about, well, like, do you want to split up your Protect gifts? Do you want to stack them all on one circle? What rear guards are you putting on that powered up circle if that's the case? Where I feel like Excel 2 a lot of times is just, get your extra circle, draw a card, and then go ham like you always do.
I think Accel it might be an inertia thing too. So if you're going first and you get your gift first, you want to cause as much damage in the shortest amount of time. So you might want to be doing the Accel 1, but if you're going second and the opponent got their gift first, you might want the gift 2 just so you can kind of shore up and meet them. Like Matt said, the best way to counter Rush is with Rush, yeah. So the best way to counter Tom Sawyer is with Tom Sawyer. Why did I do that?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out right now.
We were talking about Rush before the episode started because I like them. Shout out to Geddy Lee. All right, I think this about does it for this episode of Nexus at Night. Guys, where can people find you online?
Find me at Wiggums on Twitter, 2 G's, 2 Z's.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse.
And then you can find this podcast on Twitter at Nexus at Night. You can find me personally at Atlas Novak. You can also find the podcast on the Nexus Core YouTube channel, although I'll be honest, it usually goes up a lot slower. For example, the Star Hulk Smash and the Logic of Destruction episodes went up 3 days apart, 2 weeks late. So that's just what happens when your editor makes the thumbnail and he's got school and stuff. So
and finals
and all that things. And I'm a grown-ass man who just comes home from work and does this shit. All right. Until next time, I was Atlas.
I'm still Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night, everybody.